Hello everyone, welcome to the complete Microsoft AZ-800 Administrating Windows Server Hybrid Core Infrastructure Training course. I am Sureka, and in this course we are going to take a step-by-step journey into managing Windows Server environments in today's hybrid cloud world. Organizations today are not running everything only on premises or only in the cloud. Most enterprises use a hybrid approach where traditional Windows Server infrastructure works together with Microsoft Azure services. As a Windows Server hybrid administrator, your role is to manage, secure, monitor, and integrate these environments effectively. Today, organizations rarely operate with only on-premises servers or only cloud services. Most enterprises use a hybrid infrastructure model where traditional Windows Server environments work together with Microsoft Azure. For example, an organization may have Active Directory running on premises, file servers and applications in their data center, virtual machines hosted in Azure, hybrid identity connected through Microsoft Entra ID, servers managed using Azure services. As a hybrid cloud administrator, your responsibility is to manage this complete environment securely and efficiently. In this course, every concept will be supported with real-world explanations, live demonstrations, step-by-step configurations, hands-on labs, troubleshooting scenarios. The goal is to understand how these technologies are used in real enterprise environments. Building real confidence. By the end of this course, you will have both theoretical knowledge. You will understand Windows Server Administration, Active Directory Domain Services, Hybrid Identity, Networking, Storage, Security, Azure Integration. In practical experience, you will be able to deploy Windows servers, configure domain controllers, manage users and groups, configure group policy, integrate servers with Azure, manage hybrid resources, troubleshoot common issues. This combination of knowledge and hands-on experience will prepare you for both certification and real-world responsibilities. 3 reasons to be here. Now let's look at the 3 main reasons why you should follow this course. Reason 1. Earn the AZ-800 certification. The first goal is certification success. The AZ-800 exam validates your ability to administer Windows Server hybrid core infrastructure. In this course, we will prepare you with structured learning modules, exam-focused explanations, important concepts, hands-on practice, real-world scenarios. Instead of randomly studying topics, you will follow a clear roadmap aligned with the official exam objectives. By the end of this course, you will have the confidence to approach the AZ-800 exam. Reason 2. Upgrade your Windows Server skills. Windows Server continues to be a critical technology in enterprise environments. We will go deeper into Active Directory administration, domain controllers, DNS and DSCP, group policy, security management, file services, virtualization, PowerShell automation. These are skills that organizations depend on every day. Reason 3, become a hybrid cloud administrator. The third and most important reason is career growth. The future of infrastructure is hybrid. Organizations need professionals who can connect traditional data center technologies with modern cloud services. A hybrid cloud administrator understands both worlds: on-premises infrastructure, Microsoft Azure cloud services, both together hybrid cloud environment. You will learn how to bridge these environments using technologies such as Azure Arc, Microsoft Entra ID integration, Azure Monitor, Azure Backup, hybrid networking, cloud management services. The ultimate goal of this course is to help you become a confident Windows Server hybrid administrator, not just someone who can pass an exam, but someone who can design solutions, deploy services, manage infrastructure, secure environments, troubleshoot production issues. Administrators, system administrators, and infrastructure engineers. If you already work with Windows Server environments, Active Directory, file servers, or enterprise infrastructure, this course will help you expand your existing skills into the hybrid cloud world. Many organizations still depend on Active Directory domain services, Windows Server workloads, file and application servers, virtualization platforms, on-premises infrastructure. However, companies are increasingly connecting these environments with Microsoft Azure. In this course, you will learn how to extend your traditional server administration skills by understanding hybrid identity, Azure Arc management, cloud-based monitoring, backup and recovery solutions, hybrid networking. This will help you transition from a traditional system administrator role into a modern hybrid cloud administrator role. The second group is cloud and Azure professionals, cloud engineers and Azure administrators. If you are already working with Azure services, this course will help you understand the on-premises side of hybrid infrastructure. Azure does not exist separately from traditional IT environments. In real enterprise environments, Azure often connects with existing Active Directory environments, Windows Server workloads, on-premises applications, corporate networks, file and storage systems. Understanding Windows Server technologies helps Azure professionals design and manage better hybrid solutions. In this course, Azure professionals will learn how Active Directory works, how domain controllers are managed, how DNS and DHCP support enterprise networks, how Windows servers connect with Azure, how hybrid management works using Azure services. This knowledge is extremely valuable for cloud engineers working in enterprise environments. The third group is certification candidates. Anyone preparing for the Microsoft AZ-800 certification, if your goal is to achieve the Windows Server Hybrid Administrator Associate certification, this course provides a structured learning path. We will start from the fundamentals and gradually build your knowledge. Even if you are new to Azure hybrid technologies, don't worry. We will explain Windows Server concepts, Active Directory fundamentals, hybrid identity, Azure integration, security, monitoring, backup, and recovery step by step. This course is designed to help you understand the concepts, practice the skills, and prepare for the exam. You don't need to be an expert before starting. Here is what's helpful. Like You should be comfortable with navigating Windows, managing files and folders, understanding Windows settings, using basic administrative tools, installing and configuring applications. If you have worked with Windows desktop systems or Windows Server environments before, that experience will be helpful. Throughout this course, we will build on these fundamentals and move into advanced Windows Server administration. And second thing is basic networking concepts. IP address, you should understand the fundamentals of like IP addresses, subnets, network communication, client and server connectivity, DNS basics, ports and protocols. For example, when a user accesses a server, multiple networking components work together. DNS resolves the server name, IP addressing identifies the destination, network communication allows data transfer. Having this foundation will make topics like DNS, DSCP, hybrid networking, Azure connectivity much easier to understand. And the third helpful skill is Active Directory concepts. If you don't need to be an Active Directory expert, a high level understanding of these concepts is enough. Like what is domain, what is users, groups, organizational units, domain controllers. You should understand that Active Directory provides centralized identity management for organizations. You should understand these concepts. It allows administrators to create user accounts, manage permissions, apply security policies, control access to resources. During this course, we will go deeper into Active Directory domain services and learn how to deploy and manage enterprise environments. What you don't need, like now let's discuss what is not required before starting this course. The first thing to remember is you do not need previous Azure experience. Many learners think they need to understand Azure before learning AZ-800. That is not necessary. We will introduce Azure concepts as they appear throughout the course. Like you will learn Azure fundamentals, Azure hybrid services, Azure Arc, Azure backup, Azure management tools, hybrid identity integration. Step by step, our approach is learn the Windows Server foundation first, then connect those concepts with Azure services. PowerShell is optional. Basic PowerShell knowledge is helpful, but it is not mandatory. PowerShell is widely used by Windows Server administrators because it helps automate repetitive tasks. For example, instead of manually creating 100 user accounts, PowerShell can automate the process. During this course, we will introduce PowerShell commands whenever they are needed. You will learn basic PowerShell commands, server administration commands, automation examples, real world scripts. You don't need to be a PowerShell expert before starting. We will learn together as we progress. Setup. Our lab environment will have three major parts: on-premises infrastructure, Azure cloud services, management and automation tools. Let's look at each component. On-premises stack. The first part of our environment represents the traditional data center. We will build an on-premises Windows Server environment using virtualization. Here we will use Windows Server 2025 Evolution. edition, and in that we will use Windows Server to practice Active Directory domain services, domain controllers, deployment, DNS configuration, DHCP management, file services, group policy, server administration. This will simulate how organizations manage Windows Server workloads in their own data centers. Next thing, Windows 11 client. We will also use Windows 11 client mission. The client will help us test domain joining, user authentication, group policy application, network connectivity, access permissions. This creates a realistic environment where users interact with domain services. Hyper-V virtualization. To run our lab missions, we will use Microsoft Hyper-V. Hyper-V allows us to create virtual missions on our local computer. Our lab may include virtual missions such as domain controller, member server, Windows client. Using virtualization allows us to build an enterprise-style environment without needing multiple physical computers. Next thing is PowerShell. PowerShell will be an important part of our lab. We will use PowerShell for server configuration, Active Directory administration, user creation, automation, troubleshooting. PowerShell helps administrators manage environments faster and more efficiently. Second thing is Azure and cloud tools. The second part of our lab connects our on-premises environment with Azure. Like for this, we need Microsoft Azure free account. We will use a Microsoft Azure account to practice hybrid cloud scenarios. Azure will allow us to work with Azure resources, hybrid management services, cloud-based monitoring, identity integration. If you are new to Azure, we will walk through the setup process. Okay, Azure portal. Azure portal is the main management interface for Azure services. We will use it for register servers, configure Azure services, manage resources, monitor workloads. We will become comfortable navigating and managing Azure resources. Microsoft Entra ID. Microsoft Entra ID is Azure's identity and access management service. In our hybrid lab, we will explore cloud identity concepts, hybrid identity integration, authentication scenarios, identity management. You will understand how traditional Active Directory connects with modern cloud identity. Azure Arc. Azure Arc is a key hybrid management service. It allows us to manage servers running outside Azure using Azure management capabilities. With Azure Arc, we can connect on-premises servers to Azure, apply Azure policies, monitor servers, manage hybrid resources. This is an important AZ-800 topic. Management tools. To manage our hybrid environment, we will use several administration tools. Windows Admin Center. Windows Admin Center is a browser-based management tool for Windows Server. We will use it for remote server management, configuration tasks, monitoring Azure integration. It provides a modern way to manage Windows Server environments. And then Azure Arc Agent. Azure Arc Connected Mission Agent allows servers outside Azure to connect with Azure Arc. We will learn how to install the agent, register servers, verify connectivity, manage hybrid servers. Next thing is PowerShell remoting. PowerShell remoting allows administrators to manage remote servers using PowerShell commands. We will use it for remote administration, automation, configuration management. This is a critical skill for enterprise administrators. Step by step lab guides. Throughout this course, every major topic will include a hands-on lab guide. Each lab will follow a structured approach. Step 1, understand the objective. We will explain what we are building and why. Next, prepare the environment. We will configure prerequisites and required tools. And then perform the configuration. We will complete the step-by-step setup. And then we will test and verify. We will confirm that everything is working correctly. And then we will discuss common problems and how to resolve them. So here we need Hyper-V computer, and in that we need Hyper-V and Windows Server domain controller. One Windows Server 2025 Evolution Edition is fine, and Windows 11 client, and then Azure integration, and then Azure Arc management, and then hybrid cloud administration. So we need one system with Hyper-V basically. Trajectory, like here is the recommended progression from foundational to associate level. AZ-900, this is the Azure fundamentals. Like here you will learn what cloud computing is, benefits of using Azure service categories, cloud deployment models, Azure pricing and support options, security, compliance and governance basics. This AZ-900 helps you build the foundation needed to understand Azure terminology and services. For someone new to cloud technologies, this is an excellent starting point. And then step 2 is AZ-104, Azure Administrator. After building foundational knowledge, the next step is AZ-104, Microsoft Azure Administrator. AZ-104 focuses on managing Azure cloud environments. Here you will learn Microsoft Entra ID, Azure subscriptions, virtual machines, storage solutions, virtual networks, security controls, monitoring solutions. Like this certification develops your skills as a cloud administrator. You will learn how Azure resources are deployed, configured, secured and maintained. Next is AZ-800, administrating Windows Server hybrid core infrastructure. AZ-800 takes your knowledge into the hybrid world. Many organizations still rely on Windows Server environments while adopting Azure cloud services. This certification focused on managing Windows Server infrastructure, Active Directory domain services, DNS and DHCP, group policy, file services, Hyper-V virtualizations, hybrid identity, Azure Arc integration, Windows Server management with Azure. The key concept is connecting traditional data center infrastructure with Microsoft Azure. This is where Windows Server administration meets cloud technology. Next is AZ-801. AZ-801, configuring Windows Server hybrid advanced services. It builds on the foundation from AZ-800 and focuses on advanced Windows Server hybrid solutions. Here, like advanced server management, hybrid security, migration strategies, high availability, disaster recovery, advanced file services, business continuity solutions. So here AZ-800 and AZ-801 together will validate your complete Windows Server hybrid administration skills. So here in every lesson is carefully sequenced, so knowledge builds progressively. I recommend watching lessons in order. Each one lays the foundation for the next. So here like concept lessons, clear theory explanation with real world context for every topic, and then practical labs, hands on exercises that reinforce every concept you learn. Then real production scenarios like enterprise grade examples that mirror actual workplace environments. Then exam tips and practice questions. Then troubleshooting sessions like learn to diagnose and resolve common Windows Server issues confidently. And PowerShell examples, real automation scripts you can adapt for your own environment. Use this framework to assess where you are today and where you want to be. Honest self assessment now leads to better results at exam time. So, what you already know, Windows OS, networking basics, any prior AD or server experience, like your lab environment, what you will learn, your certification goal, and then your practice schedule. So, you will plan carefully and then you can achieve your goals. So in next lesson we will start Windows Server editions, versions and deployment options. So here we will see what are the server editions and LTSA versus annual channel, like installation options, and desktop versus server core. Like we will see these all the concepts in deeper.